looks like I'm talking about this guy again, Pat the NES Punk. If you're in the retro gaming world, you probably know who this guy is, especially if you listen to gaming podcasts or watch YouTube. Pat has a few claims to fame under his belt. He was on an episode of The Angry Video Game Nerd back before it started to suck. He owns virtually every single North American original NES game, including the ultra-rare Nintendo World Championship cards, the gray one and the gold one. He was briefly featured on that scripted-ass pawn shop show, Pawn Stars, where he got 15 seconds of visibility on national TV. Pat has written books, hosted several podcasts, created YouTube content, and made a lot of acquaintances in the YouTube e-celeb sphere. But if you know anything about my channel, you know that about a year ago I made an in-depth video talking about how mid I think Pat is and how his content isn't very good in my opinion. Well, I probably would have just left things how they were, since Pat seems to be closing up shop on most of the things he's known for. His once well-regarded CU podcast only comes out like once a month now, if that. There's no more Flea Market Madness videos, and I believe he's finally retiring his terminally unfunny Pat the NES Punk series on his YouTube channel. And it seems like all he really wants to do these days is write guidebooks about various Nintendo systems and watch old TV commercials on Twitch. But then, someone in my Discord posted this image as kind of a lol, look how weird Pat is kind of thing. And it triggered me. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a list of things that Pat was deprived of as a kid that, if mentioned during one of his Twitch streams, could get you a timeout or even banned. But the fun doesn't stop there on Pat's Twitch streams, because there also exists an extensive list of things you cannot slander, or else you may find yourself banned or in a timeout. Well, to say these things grabbed my attention would be an understatement. The original poster on my Discord went on to tell me about all kinds of other various eccentricities that go down on Pat's Twitch streams. And they are vast! From near constant e-begging to getting into arguments with his mom on stream, Pat's Twitch streams reveal yet another layer of how truly bizarre and grifty this guy is. Stick around, this is Dancing with Ghosts.
I don't remember having the dispenser pack. I think I was off the double tape by then.
Mature, responsible things.
Now you might be asking yourself, Josh, why are you picking on this kindly middle-aged man who just wants to share his love of nostalgia with his audience? Because Pat Contri is a man-child who I believe has found a very cunning way of separating his followers from their money. Pat first started streaming old commercials from the 70s, 80s, and 90s on Twitch during a certain pandemic in 2020 as a fun way to pass the time. Or at least that's what he wants you to believe. But make no mistake, none of this is free. There is a $5.99 paywall just to get the privilege to watch Pat watch old commercials that he just grabs off of YouTube. But wait! That's only if you missed the live Wednesday evening broadcast, because that one is totally free to watch. However, I must warn you, Pat has a fever, and the only cure is more advertisements. Yes, sirree, Bob, if you think you get to watch Pat watch old commercials for free, you are mistaken. He's gonna make his money one way or another. So every 15 minutes, you will be served 5 to 7 minutes of advertisements. Now keep in mind, the Twitch streamers have control over this. For instance, Angry Joe and Caveman Kieran will only have about 3 minutes of ads per every hour that they stream. And even when they do have an ad break, that's when they'll use the restroom, go get a drink, or scratch their ass, only resuming their content when the ad is over. Not Pat. He just chugs along whether you're stuck watching the ads or not. And should you want to go back and watch what you missed, well, you better pay up, you poor fuck, because only members get to do that. Again, every 15 minutes of watch time, you will be shown 5 to 7 minutes of ads. How fucking annoying must that be? That virtually forces you to become a member. And if it just stopped there, that would be one thing, but Senior Contri has found a way to poke and prod you in numerous other ways. After you've parted ways with your $5.99, you will still be harassed every 2 minutes by a Streamlabs bot in the chat that will prompt you with things like Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the N64 Library, available at ultimatenintendo.com. Subscribe to Pat on Twitch for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to his Discord. Looking for N64 book feedback? Thanks! You can get NES, SNES, and N64 books, shirts, and enamel pins, DVDs, and more at ultimatenintendo.com. You can support Pat Patreon, patreon.com. Okay, we fucking get it, man. Get your fucking nuts out of my face with all this shit. I already gave you my $5.99 to watch you watch old commercials. At least Pat isn't going to ask me for more money after all of that business.
The bad news is that the hot tub needs a repair. So I went in it last week for the first time in like a month, and one of the buttons for there's two different jet systems, left and right, wasn't working. So I need the whole console replaced, second time. And it's going to cost me, this is not a lie, for like less than an hour work, it's going to take like 20 minutes only. It's $550. $550 to replace this stupid console, and it's the second time I had a button issue on this thing. So I should do a hot tub goal. That if we hit that, I would do a hot tub stream to help pay for that. First world Pat problems, I know. Oh, we have a hype train going. Hot tub hype. Gotta get to $550.
All at a price you can afford.
Oh God, $300 for the part. They say like $250 for labor. Thank you, Matt C8, another gifting goat. Thank you so much. But I'll show you what stickers are going to be probably for sale on the website eventually, but definitely for sale in person.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. That's got to be it, right? Have you extracted enough money from your audience yet? Hey guys, if you give me more money, I'll play theme songs from whatever commercial or TV show you want. But remember, the more money you give me, the longer the clip I will play. Don't be a cheapskate now. Hand over those biddies. Oh, and here's my tip jar, just in case you haven't given me enough money yet. All tips appreciated, but never required. My God. You've found every single way to make money from your audience from this site. And to think, I felt guilty for just starting a Patreon. Me and my associate, who helped me do research on this video, did some pat math of our own, and given his subscriber counts, subtracting for free memberships, and adding in the view counts, we estimate that Pat probably pulls in a little over $200K a year from Twitch alone. Now it's all starting to become just a little more clear as to how Pat is able to afford to live in San Diego without having to get a real job. Good for him if people are willing to pay the money, I guess, so... Okay. I've decided I'm in. I want to give Pat Contry as much money as possible. I want to help him move his books, and I want to become a paid member of his Twitch streams. But what am I getting for my money here? What is this mythical live stream actually like?
And wine, Matus Rosé. Hey, Matus Rosé. Bring it on home.
You know, call this buyer's remorse, but it appears that Pat is just staring into the void as a shitty old commercial plays. Seemingly the only thing on screen that's doing any actual entertaining is the old shitty commercial. And yeah, this clip was particularly bad, but it's not really a stretch to find many other clips of Pat just watching commercials and not saying anything. I mean...
Indoors and out, and save $5 to $6 on Sears Easy Living semi-gloss, satin, and ceiling paint. Save on bedspreads, all sheets and comforters, plus lots more for your family. 48 pages of store-wide super values. But hurry, Sears' great sale for the home is on now.
Ace Hunter.
Does this even count as fair use when we're just watching a guy watch TV? And the dude barely interacts with his audience, though he will ban members of his audience or put them in timeout. That's something he will do.
That might be an insta-ban, maybe if not timed out for 1,000,000 seconds. Timed out scam? Wasn't a scam, you earned it. Wait a second. What were Catgirl 9? What are you spicing up the chat? What are you doing? I gotta time out Catgirl 9. Tickle the balls because it's a commercial. What are you doing, Catgirl 9? What are you doing?
Remember earlier when I brought up all the various things that Pat was deprived of as a kid that you as a viewer aren't allowed to bring up? Well, I feel like now is the time to review this list a little more thoroughly. See, these are all of the things that poor little chubby Pat was deprived of as a kid and is so triggering to him that he may ban you for even mentioning them. We have Busch Gardens. I went. Disney World. I also went. Happy Meals. Oh, I loved Happy Meals growing up and the shitty toys that came with them. A Coke float glass. What the fuck is that even? That is so specific. Light Bright. Etch-a-Sketch. Six Flags Great Adventure. Flintstones vitamins. A custom Carvel ice cream cake. Children's aspirin. Clean sponges. A children's robe. Bro, is this a list of what Pat was deprived of, or Michael Jackson's backstage rider for when he's done playing a show? Anyway, we got Battleship, Play School Electronics, Pillow People. What the fuck is a Pillow People? Foam Finger. Oh yeah, I had one of those. Slip and Slide, 64 count Crayola crayons, Stunt Kite, Speak and Spell, Nintendo Power Fest, Kool-Aid, Swimming Pool, AC. As in air conditioning? Didn't you grow up in Jersey? Does it get that fucking hot there? It was over 100 degrees here the other day in my city in Florida. Game Boy, RC car, and he tags all of this with, at the end, that's just the beginning. Okay, first off, I call bullshit on at least a third of these things that you mentioned. There's no fucking way you never had a Happy Meal, Kool-Aid, or some kind of pain reliever. I guess in this case, children's aspirin. Bro, I could make a video just from this creepy ass list alone. I didn't experience half of this shit either, dude, but I would never call myself deprived, and I certainly wouldn't have made an itemized list stating all the particular first world privileges you didn't happen to have experienced. What an entitled fucking baby. Yeah, I didn't get any pussy in high school, but I'm not going to make a list about it and ban others who bring it up. I've never seen a clearer case of someone who experienced some kind of childhood trauma, but it doesn't stop there. Not only can you not mention the things Pat didn't get to experience, but you also can't talk badly about things Pat likes. This is such a fucking long list, but we have some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen on here. You guys, you better not say anything negative about Almond Joy, Bon Jovi, he fucking sucks, California, New Jersey, Daylight Savings Time, is this a fucking joke? Utz potato chips, pretzels, and quote, whatever else Pat may add. Dude, this is giving off some serious Linkara energy. Also, we're not allowed to tell Pat what is/isn't funny. Good lord, what a fussy little bitch. Okay, so let's recap. You pay Pat in any and every way you can to watch him stare into the middle distance while old-ass commercials are playing in the background. You can't talk about anything you enjoyed as a kid unless Pat also had that same experience. And conversely, you can't speak ill on anything that Pat likes. Got it. So far, this sounds like one of the most legit live streams I've ever encountered. North Korean dictatorship? This certainly is not. So going forward, we eventually come across an old McDonald's commercial, and just look how Pat's facial expression changes.
New commercials are.
Your kids will love McDonald's Happy Meal. It's food and fun in a box. It's a hamburger or
Deprived.
cheeseburger,
Deprived.
regular-sized fries, regular-sized soft drink, and a McDonald's and cookie sampler.
Bro, look how bummed Pat is that he didn't get a fucking Happy Meal as a child. He is lusting after this experience so hard, as if perhaps his life wouldn't have been spent collecting old video games if only his horrible mother did not deprive him of a Happy Meal. Jesus Christ, what an embarrassment.
Pat missed it. I wonder why, Catgirl9, why I missed it. If only someone in the chat could have altered my history growing up and have bought me a couple of Happy Meals in my life. Wow, that would have been great. Yes, I'm shaming you. I absolutely am.
Now you may ask yourself, who is Pat talking to in the chat? Who is this Catgirl9? Well, Catgirl9 is Pat's mom. He's literally giving his mom shit in the chat for not buying him a Happy Meal as a child. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if it gets much more pathetic than that. He enjoys giving his mom shit in front of a bunch of strangers though, apparently. Here he is bitching about some cookies his mom bought for him as a kid, but I guess they weren't good enough because they didn't come from McDonald's.
Giggles!
There she goes.
Oh, I ate some Giggles growing up. They were cheap. They were cheap-ass cookies. They were good.
Me, I like the two kinds of cream inside. There's vanilla and fudge in each one.
Oh. Catgirl9, did you know that these are like the worst thing that kids should probably be eating? Giggles cookies with like
That wasn't me.
tons of hydrogenated sugar shit.
Yes, it was.
You bought them. Not as much as the EL fudges, but you bought them.
But Pat apparently wasn't deprived of Bennigan's or TGI Fridays.
Bennigan's went out of business. Bennigan's was so much better. TGI Fridays is still going strong. God, I miss Bennigan's.
It almost sounds as if you were an ungrateful little shit as a child, Pat. You didn't deserve a Happy Meal. But according to my source, Pat likes his mom enough to have his audience give her free memberships. Because apparently, if not, she would have to pay to watch her son watch old TV commercials.
Here, Paul Simon. Oh, thank you so much, Trademark. Gifting Goat, $9.83 total. $9.83. Oh, speaking of Highlander, one of the subs went to Highlander. One went to Catgirl 9. Is that a random? Thank you so much, Trademark. Appreciate that. Help me keep the lights on and a fruit salad.
I guess in an attempt to add another revenue stream to his portfolio, Pat goes on about starting an OnlyFans for the purpose of selling his stickers and housing the old VODs of his live streams.
Speaking of pics, no, I haven't started my OnlyFans yet. I'm 50 pounds away from that goal. The stickers arrived, so you can come out to Long Island. I'll have the stickers for sale. Not available on Twitch anymore. I'm going to maybe put them on Patreon. Or I can put them on OnlyFans, actually. Wait a second. I can put that on OnlyFans. What's the difference between, if it's not sexual, what's the difference between Patreon and OnlyFans?
Some of the stickers, which he is selling for a profit, feature likenesses of people such as Crazy Eddie and Sue Simmons.
The Crazy Eddie? You like that? The Crazy Eddie. The GOAT newscaster. We got Sue Simmons. Prime Sue Simmons from like 1982.
People that I'm assuming he doesn't have written consent from to have their likenesses used for Pat's financial gain. I'm pretty sure you can't just slap anything you want onto a sticker and sell it full stop without any kind of legal repercussions. I also never want to hear the names Pat Contri and OnlyFans in the same sentence ever again. Though I'm sure he thought that was hilarious for coming up with that idea.
Hey Ian, I have an OnlyFans. JK, I'm just selling stickers on there, Lamau.
Now let's get into Pat's inflated sense of self-importance. Pat is a VIP in his own life, and sometimes it comes across as though he thinks he is a real celebrity and not just an internet personality with a dying YouTube channel.
How about 50 most beautiful Twitch streamers? Would Pat make the list?
It is 180 degrees from expected.
Do a Twitch calendar shoot?
It's a leather-trimmed interior.
It'd be me versus Asmon Gold for December. Little shoulders.
Someone say combo.
He's on the gear. I can't get shoulders like that. That's not natural.
Entertainment system combining a TV, VCR, and stereo, all in one great package.
Shoulder shaming me. I don't have small shoulders. I feel shameful.
He does the whole plausible deniability of, I'm only joking, you guys, when greasing his own ego. But no, I've listened to this guy long enough. He's couching his ego under the guise of, just kidding, bro. In this video, Pat takes a poll from his viewers to see if they want him to keep streaming. He only needs 50 votes, which he seems to struggle to receive.
37. Come on, we need 13 more votes. 40. You got like 10 seconds to vote. 43 votes. Come on, 7 more votes. Come on, let's do it. Let's come on, rock the vote. Why do we wait till the last minute? Come on. You got like 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, 48 votes. Why do you wait till the last minute?
He never gets to 50, but the audience is still rewarded with the Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody video, a video game themed parody of the Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody. Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody was a collaboration between Pat and game music YouTuber Brentalfloss that came out over 12 years ago and is probably Pat's most viewed video. It's about as cringy as you would expect.
On the card, insert and press start with me.
Pat talks about how he wrote most of the lyrics, how well the video has done, and then we finally get to the masterpiece.
Bought new controllers, but nothing helps. And slow.
As you can see, Pat completely reanimates when watching videos of himself, often reenacting and singing alongside to his decade-old opus. Yeah, that was awful. I'd rather watch a Rex Viper music video any day of the week over that. After the video, Pat brags about how there was no auto-tune and how he can carry a tune.
But people thought that, people, like in his comments, thought I was auto-tuned. I was not auto-tuned. Oh, no, my friends. I can carry a tune. Not a great tune, but I can hit notes.
And I play Nintendo. It's so very special to me.
I'm sorry, Patrick. The sound of your singing makes my eyeballs bleed. All right, then we get to the story that was featured on the CU podcast recently about the kid who was bullied for having one of Pat's enamel pins on his backpack. This story originated from one of Pat's Twitch streams, actually.
Landon White says, someone refused to let me shop at their video game booth at a flea market because they saw I had your pin in a podcast. But what, Landon? Is that what? You got blackballed? You got discriminated against? Is that for real? Did they give you a reason why? Can you email me that story? I'll talk about it on the podcast. I'm serious. If you're being for real, Landon, email me, pat@thepunkeffect.com. All right, Landon. I want an email. I want the picture. I want the full story. I want the name of the vendor. I want the location. I want all of it. That could be a segment next week. Well, I'm sorry I went through that, Landon. I want you to... I almost feel like on Discord, I want to fucking FaceTime with you. When you go back to that... I'll FaceTime with the guy and fucking tell him off. I swear to God, I want to do that.
Oh my God, you guys. How intimidating would it be to have Pat, the NES Punk, on a FaceTime call telling you off? I don't even think I believe this story, though, honestly. This dude apparently, in the story, on his Twitch stream, this kid apparently went to a flea market and saw a seller tent with a Nintendo logo on it. So he went and he started browsing through their games when apparently one of the proprietors noticed the small little Pat the NES Punk enamel pins on the dude's backpack and started heckling him and saying that he's part of the problem just for listening to Pat's gaming podcast. Yeah, because every flea market seller from major cities to podunk towns, yeah, they're all aware of who Pat is and they all listen to the CU podcast, and the proprietor just happened to spot these tiny ass little pins on the back of a potential customer's backpack and then proceeded to harass him and told him to leave. None of that really adds up to me, but sure, I guess. Pat and Ian are just that big that some random flea market seller in his 40s spotted the pins from off in the distance and chewed out a potential customer. Trust me, bro. Pat likes to eat on his live streams. A lot.
But they like spinach? Like a spinach lasagna?
Please, open email. Can you access the network already? I don't know. I'm asking.
You go, you reach and you grab it. Now ask yourself,
Do you have it?
A haunted house. Wow, Kellogg's Smacks. Scary how I love those sweet.
But his lack of self-awareness is so great that you'll also find him saying stuff like this.
Putting mukbang stream next week. I don't know what that meant. I looked it up. That's where people just eat a lot of food. Would you want to see me eat a bunch of food while I stream? That's disgusting. I guess you can watch me.
Just thought I'd bookend the last bit of this whole thing with Pat stuffing his face, because I find that fucking disgusting to do on a live stream personally, but that's just me. I don't know, man. Pat is a weird, freakishly insecure guy, and that is never more obvious than watching these live streams. It's also obvious that Pat has picked probably the most obvious brain rot to live stream and charge money for. Old TV commercials. I've done my own share of streaming old TV commercials because, quite frankly, it's a very obvious idea, especially if you're a millennial or Gen X or whatever. And the shit gets kind of boring after a while for me personally whenever I used to do it, especially when they just start kind of repeating the similar commercials over and over again. I guess you could call Pat a shrewd businessman, though, for finding a way to squeeze his audience for as much money as possible while arguing with his mom, smacking into the microphone while eating, and banning people for bringing up things that Pat was deprived of as a kid. I gotta say, the whole list that Pat was deprived of still pisses me off every time I think about it, and was really the spark that made me want to make this video. People with that level of entitlement drive me insane. But, you know, whatever, man. If you want to give him money, that's your prerogative. And to quote Pat, it's capitalism! Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this completely unnecessary video essay about an OG gaming YouTuber whose career is in its sunset phase. Until next time, have a good rest of your night.